Hello, and thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to talk you through Surya Namaskar A. That translates to Sun Salutation A. Traditionally, it was used as a sequence or a movement flow to salute the sun in the morning, give gratitude for a new day. Also, traditionally, it can be done 108 times, which is a spiritually significant number. We're not going to be doing that today. But I am going to talk you through a Sun Salutation A from a functional flow point of view. So you might have some slightly different cues to what you're used to if you have practiced Sun Salutation before. I just invite you to be open and curious, experience that in your body today. Notice the difference, or if this is a new experience for you, just notice how it feels, which parts connect and which parts don't, and honour your own body. So we're going to start by coming to the top of our mat and finding mountain pose. I like to start by setting up a stable base. So I will take my feet roughly hip distance apart. Yours might be further away from one another or closer together. What we're looking for here is stability. So you place your feet where it feels stable for the rest of your body, where you can connect all parts of the feet with the earth and keep the inner arches lifted. I sometimes like to get the sensation of pulling my feet away from one another and smoothing out the mat in between my feet. In turn, I feel an aliveness in my legs and my glutes. You might get the sensation of scrunching the mat towards one another as though you're scrunching it up, or simply affirming down. We're going to take one hand to the back of the head, one hand to the back of the pelvis, and we're going to find our neutral starting point. So we're going to press our head back into our hands so that we feel the front of the neck engage, and we bring our skull on top of our spine. Our spine is naturally S-shaped, and we're going to honour the natural curves. But we're going to bring skull on top of the spine, and that experience leads into a neutral pelvis. Release the hands, feel the ribs knitting in towards one another, and just place your hands wherever feel comfortable, maybe down by your side. Relax the shoulders, and just notice how it feels to breathe here. So we'll breathe in and out through the nose, stable and strong through lower body, relaxed and soft through the upper body, breathing in and out through the nose. You might close your eyes down or soften your gaze and just center yourself here. Releasing this final round of breath. Our next position is an upward salute. So the arms are going to reach forwards and up. We keep the body in mountain pose, and only bring your arms up so far as it doesn't affect your spine. So you might notice the spine arching as you reach the arms towards the ears or either side of the head. And if that's the case, just bring them down a little lower. Let's honor our spine today. This proximal stability of our structure and our skeletal body. So we'll reach the arms forwards and up. We'll feel the shoulders and the shoulder blades glide up towards the ears, keeping ribs knitted in, stable through lower body. From our upward salute, we come into a forward fold. I'm going to teach you a hip hinge forward fold. So we're going to bring our fingers down into our hip creases where our thighs meet our pelvis. Our toes are going to track forwards, and our tailbone, like a torch, is going to shine back behind us. So we're going to allow our body to lower towards the thighs, belly towards thighs, and our fingers will get swallowed by that hip crease. You might need to bend your knees here, and we're going to keep the spine long. Let's lift back up, using the pressure through the feet to lift the body in one piece. Let's do that again. Tailbone shoots back behind us as we fold the body. Belly and ribs connect with the thighs. The fingers are swallowed by those hip creases. Energy in the feet and the legs to lift the body back up in one piece. Let's do that feeling where our spine is in space. So take one hand to the back of the head. Maybe the thumb will creep down towards the top of the neck. One hand to the back of the sacrum, back of the pelvis, that fused part of your spine. Ribs knitted in, engagement through the legs as though the upper body was a front page of a book folding towards back page the thighs. As we bend into the knees as much as we need to, we keep the back of the neck long, skull and spine all aligned, and then maintaining that connection with the thighs and the ribs, begin to lift the tailbone up without lifting your chest and ribs away from the thighs. Good. Now come all the way back up in one piece. Let's place that together and we'll add on. Mountain pose. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Release. Upward salute. The arms reach forwards and up. Inhale. Allow the shoulders to glide up towards the ears. Ribs knit in. We maintain skull, spine, pelvis in one piece. Forward fold, we hip hinge, closing that gap between our ribs and our thighs. We keep the back of the neck long. Take one hand to the back of the neck, one hand to the back of the pelvis as we come into our halfway lift, as though your upper body is the front page of the book again. You're going to open that book halfway. So we're going to keep our gaze down. The chest is pointing down towards the ground, front of the top of the head pointing forwards, back the neck long. You can bend your knees here as much as you need to maintain that neutral spine. And then we come back into forward fold. We release the chest and ribs back towards thighs. Tailbone lifts as we release the hands down to the ground. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. We're now going to step into a plank pose. So stepping left foot back, right foot back, and we'll lower two knees. Let's find our stable base here. Starfish the fingers, press the hands and fingertips into the mat. Skull lifted in line with spine. Shoulders stacked on top of wrists. Abdomen engaged, so 4 points of the torso pulling in towards the midline. And our glutes are firmly on, wrapping towards the tailbone. From here, we lower down to chaturanga. You might send the elbows back, or you might allow them to flare out to the side a little bit. Whatever enables you to lower your body in one piece, all the way down to the ground. Good. We now come into cobra pose. So untuck your toes, lift your chest up. Roll the shoulders towards one another. The shoulder blades clip towards your spine. And imagine you're pulling the heel of the hand back towards the hips without physically moving your hands. Good. From here, we lower down. And we're going to come into downward facing dog. So you might tuck your toes and send your bum back towards the heels. Strong through the hands as you lift the pelvis up towards the sky. We're going to make this a shorter, stable down dog. So feet roughly hip distance apart or wherever feels stable for you. Strong, straight arms are pressing the ground away. Feel that shoulder and shoulder blades glide up towards the ears again, like we did in upward salute. Ribs knit in towards one another. And we're going to gaze between our legs here. Holding this position, bringing belly, ribs towards thighs again, finding a bit of that hip hinge here. And then we'll walk the feet all the way up towards the hands. You can take 1, 2 steps, maybe a few steps. And then we'll lift the body up in one piece like we're opening that book again. Let's put that all together. Mountain pose, skull, shoulders, spine, pelvis. Strong through lower body. Upward salute, arms reach forwards and up. Inhale, Shoulders and shoulder blades glide up towards the ears. Forward fold, we hinge at the hips, closing that angle, bringing ribs towards thighs, back of the neck long. Halfway lift, chest level with the ground. Chin neutral, crown of the head reaching forwards. Tailbone reaching back. Forward fold again, belly towards thighs, tailbone lifts, back of the neck long. As we step, this time right foot, left foot steps back, lower two knees, modified plank. Shoulders on top of wrists, goal lifted, glutes firm as we lower down in one piece. Our hands frame our chest as we lift up, cobra pose. Our chest peels up off the ground. We clip shoulder blades towards tailbone. And then downward facing dog. You might press the bum back towards heels or tuck toes. Lift the pelvis up. Walk the feet in a little closer towards the hands to feel that hip hinge. Strong straight arms press the ground away. And you might bend your knees here. You might have lifted heels. We're honouring neutral through the spine rather than a puffing around. Walking the feet all the way up towards the hands, as though we're opening that book all the way up, lifting our body in one piece. Let's add our breath to the movement now. So find mountain pose. Take one full round of breath. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Upward salute. Inhale, arms reach forwards and up. Shoulders glide. Forward fold. Exhale, belly to thighs. Back of the neck long. Inhale for a halfway lift. Chest level with the ground. Crown of the head reaching forwards. On our next exhale, forward fold. Connection, belly, ribs, thighs, tailbone lifts. Back of the neck long. We'll step left foot, right foot back. We might lower two knees here. Shoulders on top of the wrists, glutes firm. Take a deep breath in. As you hold the breath, lower. Exhale. Cobra pose. Inhale. Lift the chest. Roll the shoulders back. Glutes firm. Downward facing dog on your next exhale. Lift the pelvis. Strong straight arms. Press the ground away. Hinging at the hips. Armpits lifted. 3 full rounds of breath here. Walking feet up towards the hands and lifting the body up in one piece. We'll do that one more time. I'll add in some other options for you. Mountain pose. Firm through the feet, stable in the lower body, neutral in the spine. Upward salute, arms reach forwards and up. Option to add in a back bend here, lifting the heart towards the sky and arch through the spine. Glutes firm. And then forward fold on your exhale. We hinge at the hips. Bring belly, ribs towards thighs, tailbone lifts. Back of the neck long. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Make that connection, ribs to thighs, tailbone lifts. Step back, plank pose. You might take a full plank or lower the knees. Wherever you are, make sure that you can lower the body down in one piece. Glutes firm, shoulders on top of wrists, lower all the way down. Option for cobra or upward facing dog. So we peel the chest up. If you're taking upward facing dog, we press into the hands, we lift thighs and pelvis up off the ground. We keep drawing shoulders back, glutes firm. And then downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift the pelvis, strong straight arms. I still like to find my hip hinge here. Gaze between the legs, 3 breaths. Walking the feet all the way up to the hands, or you might jump, and then lifting all the way back up. That's me finished. You might continue your sun salutation for as many times as you need or as you'd like today, but I would just like to leave you and say thank you so much for joining me.